for joining our Thank you for joining our presentation on the Columbus or College Credit Plus program, Ohio's dual enrollment program. My name is Michelle Miller Owens, and I am from Columbus State Community College. Today we have presenters from several Central Ohio colleges and universities, as well as local school districts. We will be describing the CCP program, its benefits and risks, and how your child can get involved. This presentation should be the start of a family conversation to help you decide if CCP is the right program for your child, if this is the right time to get started, and also what option might be the right fit. Okay, what is College Credit Plus? That means a lot of things to a lot of different colleges. Basically, College Credit Plus is the state of Ohio's dual enrollment program. Students are enrolled in college classes and receive both high school and college credit for these classes. That means the student can be earning credit for both high school graduation and also meet college degree requirements along the way. The other great thing to know about CCP is that it is free, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, for families to participate. The costs of the program are covered by the local school district for public school students, or by the Ohio for students who attend a non-public school or if you're homeschooled. It is the qualifications that students meet to receive this funding. And each college will have its own requirements for that. CCP covers most of the costs of participation for families. So basically, the school district will pay for the tuition and books for students. Colleges give all these, such as application fees, lab fees, etc. But you know, your family, there are some things that are not covered. So we'll take a look at. CCP does not cover the cost of transportation and parking for student classes on campus. So that might be a consideration, parking permits, or getting your student to and from the institute where they like to take coursework. And there may be additional optional fees for things such as like the recreation centers at our colleges or other activities that a student would be able to opt into. At this point, I'm going to turn over the presentation to my colleague from Franklin University. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Maureen Cooper, and I am from Franklin University. Let's focus on CCP students. The state has set a number of requirements for students who want to participate in the CCP program. To be eligible, the student must be an Ohio resident in grades 7 through 12 and meet statewide college readiness guidelines. We do need to stress that students who enroll in College Credit Plus courses are taking actual college courses. These courses may contain topics or themes that are considered adult in nature. We do not ask our faculty or instructors to adjust the material for younger students. It is hard to know which classes may have this content. An English class may ask students to read books that contain controversial subjects. A language class may discuss cultural issues that are adult, or a psychology class may talk about abnormal behavior. The books and other required materials may include adult content. Students may be participating in discussions either online or in person that may touch on mature themes. The state also requires us to provide this legal disclaimer. The subject matter of a course enrolled in under the College Credit Plus program may include mature subject matter or materials, including those of a graphic, explicit, violent, or sexual nature that will not be modified based upon College Credit Plus enrollee participation, regardless of where course instruction occurs. You will be required to submit a permission slip signed by student and parent or guardian acknowledging that you accept this information before you can be admitted to a CCP program. The student will also be required to submit a survey stating that they possess the necessary social and emotional maturity for college classes before enrolling in a CCP class. We recommend that you have a family discussion to decide if CCP is right for you and your family. CCP is a great program for the right student, and we hope the presentation will help you to decide if it is the right program, the right time, and the right college. Students who do best in CCP are students who are looking for a challenge and who are academically ready to be successful in a college class. Beyond academics, students will need to possess the social and emotional skills needed for college success. Let's discuss the options for CCP. Students can enroll in CCP courses through many different institutions around the state. All public colleges, 2- and 4-year, participate in CCP, along with a number of private colleges. In Central Ohio, your public options include Columbus State, COTC, and Ohio State, while Franklin, Kenyon, and Otterbein are your private college options. Students are able to take these classes through many different institutions around the state. Students are able to take these classes in a variety of locations. Some classes will be offered in your high school, while others will be taught on the college campus. We also have seen a large increase in the number of online courses that are available. Now you will hear from the representative from Ohio State.
I think we're going to hear from Dudley from Kenyon.
Hi, yes, I just got a little confused there. My name is Dudley Thomas. I'm from Kenyon College. Kenyon has been offering dual enrollment classes for more than 4 decades. So I'm here to discuss some of the options and why you might want to choose to participate in the CCP program. The top benefit from participating in CCP is free college credit. Free. Who doesn't like that? As you know, college costs have increased over the years, and CCP student can earn credit that can meet their degree requirements at no cost while they are in high school. Students may enroll in college where they plan to attend, or they may choose to transfer credits from other colleges that are offering CCP. Transfer credits between all public universities, credits transfer between all public universities, and often, usually, credits transfer from private and state colleges to colleges in other states. Another great benefit from participating in CCP is to gain experience. In your CCP classes, you'll be exploring work with faculty and staff in a wide range of classes, and students can start taking introductory classes that will count toward their college introductory courses in new academic programs, and explore possible career choices and take classes in a variety of disciplines. Learn what you like, figure out what you do and we don't like. This gives the students the opportunity to experience the expectations of the college classroom before they get to college. One benefit of CCP is the ability to complete college at a faster pace. In the years since CCP was introduced, there have been many students who have actually completed certificate programs or associate degrees while still in high school. Of course, this is dependent on your interest as a student, your degree path, and while some students may be able to graduate early, other students broaden their learning and their college experience. Okay, one of the most important things is that you're learning, again, to operate at the college pace. Some students may be able to complete a double major or add minors to their program of study. Students also may be able to take fewer classes each semester, which gives them more time to experience things such as co-ops, internships, undergraduate research, study abroad, and other ways to prepare for their future career. While there are many benefits to the CCP program, there are also some risks. We want to make sure that you go into this program with a full understanding of both the benefits and the risks. Poor academic performance can have a very negative consequence for students. The expectation is that you should be able to earn a college GPA of at least 2.0. Falling below this level can result in financial issues. CCP law states that if a student fails a class or drops after the initial drop deadline, their school can ask them to repay the costs for the course. It's important to make sure your child is ready to pass a college level class, or you may end up paying for what was a free class. Beyond the finances, the grades earned will also be on the student's high school and college transcript. This means that poor performance will impact future admissions and scholarship opportunities. Again, this can have long-term effects since the classes are on a college transcript. It can also cause difficulties in admissions to medical, graduate, or other professional schools. To make sure students don't do too much damage to their future, CCP students who do poorly may be placed on CCP probation or removed from the program. Your school counselor will monitor grades and work with your students through this process. CCP classes are real college classes, no matter where they're taught, whether at the high school or on a college campus. Okay, CCP instructors will not modify the content of a college course for CCP students. If they are in the class, they will be expected to meet the requirements of all other students taking the class. It is possible that the instructor will presume that students have prior knowledge from high school classes. Here's an example. A student was enrolled in a college botany class, and before she took a high school chemistry class. The botany course, assumed that the student had already taken chemistry, and the student had a great difficulty understanding the chemical process of photosynthesis. Even though she was a smart high school student, she ended up with a D in the college class because she didn't have the high school knowledge the professor expected. Now you'll hear from one of our colleagues from Otterbein University.
Hi, I'm Lori Wilhelm. I'm from Otterbein University. As part of your family conversation, we have a few items that we think you should consider. First, think about your child's maturity level. Remember, there may be adult content in the class. And is your child ready for those conversations? They might be taking classes with students who are significantly older than they are. How will your child react to a study partner who's in their 20s? Also, students need to have strong time management skills to do well in their college classes. The pace of the class will be much faster. High school courses are year-long classes, going over materials in 30 weeks. A college class is completed in one semester, which is only 15 weeks. So there's no time to procrastinate in college classes. Students just need to be ready to work on the class from the very beginning. Students will be expected to do much more reading than regular high school classes and will be expected to come to class ready to discuss those readings. It's common for professors to tell students that for every hour of class, they'll need to spend about 2 hours outside of the classroom doing their work. Also, students who take classes on a college campus will need to add time into their schedule to get to campus and park on top of the time needed to complete the coursework. You'll also need to pay attention to calendar differences between the high school and the college. The term might have different start and end dates, as well as different spring breaks. And most colleges have no calamity days for snow. How well can your student advocate for their own best interests? Parents will not have the same access to grades and homework in a college classroom. Students will need to be able to initiate those contacts with faculty themselves. Also, there are some important differences in law to think about that will impact students in the CCP program. The Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, known as FERPA, is different between the K-12 and higher education systems. For K-12 system, parents and students have equal rights to the student's educational records. That means that a parent can call a teacher and be given information about the student's performance. That changes at the college level, however. At the college level, only the student has access to the educational record, regardless of their age. That means that faculty members will not discuss student performance, and it'll be up to the student to reach out to instructors to ask questions about homework or grades. Another important difference in law affects students with disabilities. At the K-12 level, schools follow the IDEA or IDEA. A family will have an IEP conference with the teacher, parent, student, and counselor that are designed for student success. Colleges are governed by the Americans with Disabilities Act or ADA, where students can receive accommodations and students need to initiate that process. They're designed for student access. So just a difference between success and access. Now that you've heard about the CCP program, it's time to tell you how to participate. There are several steps that you need to take in order to participate in CCP. First, you need to demonstrate college readiness. CCP law states that you can show that you're ready for college by earning qualifying scores on several standardized tests. These tests include ACT or SAT, AccuPlacer, and ALEX. COVID-19 created difficulty for students in accessing these tests, so the state is also allowing students to provide readiness by showing a 3.0 high school GPA. Second, you'll need to be admitted to the college of your choice. The admissions process will be very similar to applying to college after high school, so you'll need to work directly with each college to learn what their admission requirements are. The statewide college readiness test scores are one way to meet CCP student eligibility guidelines, and you can view this chart to see if your test scores meet those standards. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the presentation over to Ohio State at this time.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Brown, and I am from Ohio State. I'm going to spend a little bit of time telling you what to do once you've been admitted in terms of being enrolled in classes. So while you can take a wide range of classes through CCP, there are a few rules on course eligibility. When you first start in the CCP program, you will need to take level 1 courses. These are introductory courses that apply to many college degree programs and will transfer easily between different colleges. Each college will have their list of level 1 courses available on their website. The state has also designated some classes as not being eligible for CCP, and these include courses such as physical education courses, study abroad classes, and one-on-one individual lessons. If you decide that you want to take one of these classes, your family will be responsible for all of the costs. Also, something to keep in mind when scheduling, thinking about what classes you can take, it's important to know that while CCP is free, there are limits in terms of the number of credits you can earn. So a student can earn up to 30 college credits in one academic year, starting in the summer, so summer, fall, and spring. A student will also have a lifetime maximum of 120 credits through their entire 7th through 12th grade career. Many students who do CCP are taking a combination of both high school and college credits. So we have a nifty little formula here to help you determine how many classes you can take between high school and college in any year. So college classes are considered to generally be between 3 and 5 credit hours. That's going to depend on the individual class. And every year-long high school course will be the equivalent of 3 college credit hours. You'll count both types of high school and college classes and the amount of classes you can take each year. So let's take a look at an example. Emma is taking 5 high school classes. Since high school courses were 3 college credits, we'll multiply that number by 3. So 5 classes in high school times 3 credits means she's taking the equivalent of 15 credit hours through her high school classes. Since she has a year-long maximum of 30 credits, when we take away the 15 hours of high school credit, she can enroll in 15 credits throughout the entire year. Again, summer, fall, and spring. So we've given you a lot of information. You've heard from a lot of us to tell you more about CCP. So let's talk about your next steps in pursuing the program. First, it's really important that you work with your high school or middle school counselor to get the process started. We recommend that you set up an appointment with your counselor to learn about your options and talk about how those CCP classes will count towards your high school graduation requirements and also athletic eligibility if you are an athlete. The most important thing that we want you to do is make sure you complete the letter of intent no later than April 1st. We recommend that you complete the letter of intent even if you're not sure that you want to do CCP, because when you submit that intent form, it keeps the option open. It's not a commitment that you are definitely going to participate. You will also need to work with your college of interest. Don't forget to apply to admission for their CCP program. Each college will have information, and we're all going to share this in a little bit, but you can go to college websites and see how to apply, what kind of information you're going to need to submit for that application, and what the deadlines are. Make sure you pay attention to the deadlines, because that can definitely slow you down in terms of being able to be a part of the program. You also need to check on what testing requirements there might be for your college. You might need to take an ACT or SAT or the Accuplacer or ALEX, and there may be limits on when you can actually take those tests. So again, if you're thinking, oh, I haven't taken one of those tests, remember that there are those test optional opportunities for admission. Typically, again, that will vary from college to college to find out which requirements they're going to have for admission. Every college is going to have some type of an orientation and advising process for students who are admitted into that program. Sometimes colleges will do this in the spring for the following school year, while some colleges, you might not schedule classes until a couple weeks before the term starts. Be sure to keep in touch with both your high school counselor and your CCP advisor and ask a lot of questions. So we've gone through the general information. We're now each going to take a minute to go through some specific information about each of our colleges. And we're going to start off again with Columbus State. So Michelle, are you there?
Yeah, I was just having trouble getting my mute off. Hang on. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello? Okay, good. Okay, so basically how to enroll at CCP, I'm sorry, at Columbus State. I'm trying to get the big picture here. Here we are. Okay, so basically you just have 4 easy steps. You need to apply for admission and submit permission slips. to the college, you need to complete placement testing or some kind of credentialing. So this can include an ACT or SAT score, or you could take the reading and writing AccuPlacer, or you can take the ALEX as well, which is the math placement. So if you would want to take math courses, you would need to take the ALEX. Then you need to submit the application to the Ohio Department of Education to obtain your funding. And then we require, of course, as part of our application, the student questionnaire and parent permission slip, which is new this year. So those are kind of our main requirements that we have. Can we expand? Oh, there we are.
Hi, this is Maureen with Franklin. Similar to some of the other colleges and universities, you're going to apply. Go ahead and that's just all online. Your high school counselor, or if you're a homeschool student, that will be your parent, will just send your transcripts or any relevant test scores to our email right there. If after evaluating your transcripts, you need any kind of placement testing, Franklin will provide the AccuPlacer testing. And then, as was discussed, the permission slip will be required, as well as the student questionnaire. And I believe those are the main steps to get started with Franklin.
Hello, Kenyon College is limited to partnerships with specific schools. And we have numerous schools in the Columbus area, New Albany, Beechcroft High School, Buckeye Valley are all partners. Your guidance counselor will know what courses are available. On the slide, you can see a typical offering for classes. I believe this is specifically what's offered at New Albany High School. So there is an online application that your guidance counselor will give you directions to, and they will help with supplying transcripts and permission from the high school to take classes. Thank you.
So for Ohio State, we do have classes available both on campus and online. We do not offer classes at the high school. So that is something that if you want to do Ohio State, you're going to be coming to us. We have a pretty wide range of different classes that students can take. And our Columbus campus, which is the one that most people think about, is going to be very highly selective in terms of the admissions requirements. So we are going to be looking at your overall performance, and generally that's based on your grade point average and or class rank. Our typical student is ranking in the top 10% of their class, having GPAs usually in a 3.8, 3.9 range on a 4.0 scale. We're also looking at what classes you have completed, and we expect students to have already taken usually 3 units of the college prep courses. So English, math, science, social science, foreign language. We do have some younger students who participate. It's not as common, but if they have already completed those high school classes or CCP equivalent of those classes, they can definitely be considered. Our regional campuses are open enrollment. So people in Columbus generally might think about our Newark campus or the Marion campus. And again, students either can do the AccuPlacer or have a 3.0 in their academic courses. Our deadline to apply for the summer is February 15th. For the fall is May 1st, and spring is October 15th. And our website is available, which is where you will find our application.
Hi again. This is Lori Wilhelm from Otterbein. And just similar to the other colleges that have spoken, you're going to find our application online. You can submit test scores, transcripts, all electronically with your counselor. We're looking for a May 15th priority deadline to receive your materials for next fall. And We do offer classes on Otterbeins campus, not online. There is one course that you can take online, and that's an education course. But other than that, everything is entirely on Otterbeins campus. And we do require all of our students to attend a pre-orientation advising session where you get to meet with an academic advisor and make sure you have a complete understanding of what to expect as a CCP student on our campus.
So if you do have additional questions, we would really like to take them tonight. Feel free to put those questions into the chat and we can either type a response to you or we can respond to your question live. Of course, your high school counselor or your middle school counselor will be wonderful resources to help explain anything that didn't make sense in our presentation tonight. And you can also go to the Ohio Department of Higher Education website for College Credit Plus. The link is on the screen. And they have many, many questions and answers available to describe more about being a student in the College Credit Plus program. So it looks like we have at least one question that has come in. So it's for Ohio State. We look at your unweighted GPA. Thank you. Other questions for any of us?
Also, Michelle, just to clarify, use the question and answer feature down at the bottom, not the chat feature. So you'll see two little bubbles that say Q&A. If you click on there, you should be able to ask any of your questions and our participants will answer them.
So there is a question about the ACT, SAT, or ALEX. So generally speaking, because of test optional opportunities for any of the colleges, you don't have to take the test if you meet the GPA requirements. But if you don't meet that GPA, the best way to prove that you are college ready is to take the test and take the AccuPlacer. Ohio State does not use AccuPlacer or ALEX. We just use ACT or SAT. Another individual has asked a question about, does this cost anything? You might not have seen the very beginning of the session. That's the best thing about CCP is it is free. Your school pays for the cost of the tuition. There are no fees except for possibly paying for parking or a rec center or something like that. Anybody else want to live answer any of these questions? I'm happy to keep going.
So the sports question, if it's a walk-on to college to play sports, I don't think that's in the picture, but you can still be active in your high school sports while you're taking college classes.
So somebody is also asking about the GPA requirement in general. So if you do not have an ACT or SAT or AccuPlacer or ALEX, to be eligible for CCP on a statewide level, you need to have a 3.0 GPA. But that makes you eligible to participate. It does not necessarily make you admissible to any particular college. So that's why you need to check with each college to find out what their admission requirements are. There's a question about how many college classes an average student takes. Again, that's going to be limited by the number of high school classes you're taking. You cannot go above 30 credit hours in a year, and most college classes are 3 to 5 credits. So that might be taking, a fair number of classes between both high school and college. You'll work with an advisor at each of these colleges and your high school counselor to see how many classes you can actually take.
So the answer about being a middle school student and taking classes, your biggest thing to watch out for would be the prerequisites for the college classes, because most of the prerequisites would be high school classes. So if you're a middle schooler and you've been moving up and taking some high school classes, you might qualify for college classes.
There's a related question, is the setup the same for middle school students and high school students? Yes, regardless of how old you are, you will be treated exactly the same. And we do think it's very important that families have conversations about their child's maturity level, because they will be held to the exact same standard as any other college student. I like to joke, a lot of times people come up to me and ask me about our middle school program. We do not have a middle school program. We have a program that allows middle and high school students to take college classes that are real college classes. There's another Kenyan question there, Dudley.
Yes, on my way. So the Kenyan classes are not online. There may be a few, not technically online classes. There may be some classes from high schools that due to COVID have been taught online, but we do not offer online classes from the main campus, just classes that are taught by high school teachers who are qualified adjunct faculty.
There's a question about, do you have to be a resident to participate? So College Credit Plus on the statewide level is limited to students who are residents of the state of Ohio. You don't have to be a US citizen if your family is here on a visa, like for a work visa. So if you have a green card, or if your family is here and a parent is working and a student is here under their parents' visa, you can participate. But you need to be an Ohio resident for tax purposes to be able to take advantage of the CCP program.
For the question of CCP and AP, many of those classes are very similar. Some CCP and AP classes could share the same syllabus, but the CCP classes carry transcripted college credit with them. The AP classes give you an opportunity to possibly receive college credit should the college that you choose to go to offer you credit for the AP score that you received. So one is a guarantee, one is an option.
There's a question about an essay. Yes, Ohio State does require an essay as a part of our application process. It very much is like applying to college after high school, and the admission requirements will be very similar at all of the colleges. So it's not going to be harder to get in, but it's not going to be easier to get in than it would be after high school graduation.
There was a question in there about music classes at Otterbein. And again, I would just reiterate, we're looking for, those entry-level classes for students who typically take CCP to make sure that you've had all the prerequisites that you need. But again, if that's something that you're really interested in doing at Otterbein, I would suggest that we set up a time to talk and maybe include a conversation with our music faculty and kind of determine if that's a possibility or not.
So somebody has asked if you know what major you want, would you take classes for that major, or do you wait until you're actually enrolled in college after high school? That's one of the joys of the CCP program, is that you can start taking those classes that count towards your major and have them count both as your high school classes and as your college classes. So we definitely have had students who've earned an associate's degree or a certificate. It's not as common to earn a bachelor's degree, but it's possible. So you definitely will see that there are folks who have done a pretty good job of getting work done towards their academic major.
And I'll chime in here too, Michelle. Many colleges have similar developmental requirements. You need some English, you need some basic science, you need some math, and this is a great place to get some of those courses out of the way before you actually go off to college. It's not uncommon to enter into a 4-year program with a year under your belt after working in the CCP program.
And I'm going to even add on to your add-on, Dudley. It's really important to reach out to academic advisors to find out what some of those degree requirements might be if you know what you want. So you want to make sure that you're continuing to make progress. For example, I had a young man who told me that he wanted to major in biology because he wanted to go on to be a doctor. And we were talking, and I started asking him about classes, and he stopped taking math and taking science classes in high school. And he wanted to sign up for a bunch of non-math and non-science classes with me. And I'm like, no, you're never going to get to medical school if you don't actually take some math and science classes to help you get closer to that point. So the colleges have advisors who can help you understand. You can look at websites for each college where we have our majors listed and what the requirements are to earn that degree. So you don't want to just do what's called random acts of dual enrollment, where you're just picking and choosing classes without a plan. You want to make sure that you're thinking about, what do you want to do and what are the steps to get there? And you will find that there are folks who are around who are happy to help you out.
And your admissions officers at your college that you're planning to go to will dig in and work with their registrar and find out if the classes that you can potentially take as CCP classes will transfer to that college specifically.
There's a question about computer science at Ohio State. Of course, we have that at Ohio State, and I think probably most of the rest of us also have computer science. So that is a very popular and very common area that you can study at a number of different colleges. Looks like we've answered most of the questions. Christine, are there any other? Oh, another question popped up. Go for it, Dudley.
All right, so you may take CCP classes at any number of college partners. It's probably inconvenient to think beyond 2 or 3 college partners at any one year, but the state of Ohio does not limit you to enrolling in courses at a single college. The tanglement is that your guidance counselor needs to keep track of all the classes you're taking so that you do not exceed the limit and have to pay for any additional classes.
I think we have one question that's asking if there's fashion design. So I don't know if you want to respond to that.
Definitely, we do have that at Ohio State. That is a great question to go to college websites. You should be able to do some basic searches on college websites. And you will find, you could also go to websites like College Board and do a college search and put in colleges in Ohio that offer fashion design and be able to find different programs that might be an option to find things that are of interest to you.
Okay, it looks like to me that all of the questions have either been answered live or people have received typed responses to their questions. So at this point, I don't think we have any more questions that are open.
Well, I think all of us thank you for spending some time with us to learn more about the CCP program. Be sure to talk with your high school counselor to learn more about how you can be a part of CCP.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining. We're going to go ahead and end our webinar now. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good evening. Thank you for having me. Bye.